price you pay for being authentic is arduous at times if you let it be. Um, Remaining rooted as an individual with substance and personality and things that you're passionate about, and the vulnerability and comfort residing within your authenticity and the love for yourself can cause some people to feel as though that you are a threat, not because you're actually threatening them, because the idea of you being so comfortable within yourself and not needing the approval from anybody else consciously or subconsciously causes that individual to confront their own shadow and makes them, for however long they're willing to endure it, look in the mirror and kind of question whether or not they're actually living their truth and their authenticity. So when you stand out for being yourself in a world where a lot of people don't, you'll face rejection and you'll face judgment and you'll face people that don't have an open mind and think you're weird or think that you're, an outcast or like it's kind of the price you have to pay sometimes for being truthful to who you are. Um, this comes from a very recent personal experience of mine where I had a tattoo apprenticeship for a few weeks, and essentially it ended not by my choice, but in a way I'm glad it happened. Due to just sort of a clash between who I feel as though as I am in this state, because humans always change, and in the cycle of life and death and rebirth, is an identity ever finite? When you dissolve the ego, you realize that you're not. You're everything and nothing. So really, like, how much of a sense of self are you actually? But anyways, it was just sort of this contrast, and our energies didn't align. I will put it that nicely. I won't go into any more detail about it. I'm not in the business of drama. I'm in the business of creating art. And if my philosophy is about art and my expression of myself as an artist is not appreciated in a specific shop for whatever reason, I'm not going to be getting upset about it because I'm above that. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I don't have time to worry about that. Like, I'm too busy making art and like trying to find another tattoo apprenticeship. It's been a long journey and it's a grind every day. But being rejected, being told no, what might not even be rejection. They might like my work. They have liked my work and just said they don't have a spot. So that's not inherently rejection. It's just being told no or having what you want pushed back a little bit. It's a cycle of life. There's rebirth and death and new opportunities, new doors. So it's not something to get worked up over. It's going to end eventually, right? Like everything. It's all good, right? So I say that to remind you and me of that daily. When you're authentic and you live your truth, people are going to treat you a certain way. Some people may rock with it, other people will not. And it's just about staying truthful to who you are. I'm telling you, from if you watch my other videos, the pain of being somebody that you're not is far, far worse than being actually who you are. Because at the end of the day, when you like yourself, at least, I mean, that's better than liking nobody. Because if you're not a version that you like of yourself, are you liking people and getting into relationships with people based on that identity? Is that somebody that you really want to be with? Or is that somebody that you feel like that version of yourself needs to be with? I learned that lesson too. Man, it's gonna be okay. I, you gotta like have trust in the process and trust if you believe in the divine. Okay, like when people don't understand you, or if people call you deep, or intense, or magnetic, or something where they can't describe it. If they treat you like they take a step back and they don't really know how to read you, look inwards. Look into who you are. There's things like the zodiac. There's things like the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator. There's things like Vera archetypes or just mythos and philosophies from many people throughout history. And you sort of build a picture of the different patterns that resonate with who you feel like you are. And it helps you better understand your own shadows in a lot of ways if you do the research. Like and you start like really examining yourself and not just like the parts of yourself that you know, but like through the process you're going to uncover parts of yourself that you weren't even aware were affecting who you think you are. It's like your shadows. It's your stuff that you have to integrate. You don't want to get rid of them. You want to integrate them into who you are as a person and have the balance of both. An integrated individual, not pushing one down. You have to work with your shadows and understand that there is a monster inside of you, or there is that aspect of you. There are the shadows, and it's that may not even necessarily be a monster, so to say, but it's just a different part of you. There's so many different aspects, and for somebody to look at their version of who you are and reject you based on their interpretation of who you are, you're giving meaning to somebody who actually doesn't even know who you truly are. Because sometimes you might not even know who you are yourself, and they might not know who they are. So, what does it really matter if anybody is like telling you, like, oh, you're weird because you like this type of music? Like, or you're weird because you like, you know, this artist or like for people to like there's people like I know like that judge people based on their names. I- like the Karen thing, right? Like you're just like I understand it's become sort of a meme, but I feel like some people actually have like names that they don't associate with because they have that name or they wear a certain piece of jewelry. Like me, like I have double snake earrings, right? Like double dangly snake earrings. And in my endeavors with dating, for example, there have been women, not all women, women have liked them, but there have been some women who just have like said like that's a red flag. It's like it's a red flag that you're using that to define who I am. You're just not somebody who I would even want to associate with at that point. Like, if that's a barrier, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, a hole in my skin and a piece of jewelry gives you all the clues that you need to know about who I am or my name. I didn't even choose my name. Man, I'm at peace though. I have to give people peace because it's very easy to live in a world where you feel like you're being authentic and everybody else is wearing a mask and get extremely resentful and cynical. Um, and a bit of cynicism isn't bad, but it's a problem when it becomes like hatred and like you don't you don't love people because they don't love you. That's not the right path to go down. People aren't any less than you. People aren't any better than you. We're all interconnected, but we're all distinct at the same time. So you're not better than anybody. And you need to stop thinking that you are. Be humble and be grateful and be present. And that is how you will connect with the divine. You won't know everything and you won't be the best all the time. You can be the best version of yourself in that moment. But what's the point of trying to be better than everybody else? Why can't you just be better for yourself every day? and leave a legacy that you're proud of. Why does it matter if anybody else is? It's not their life, right? Like, spread love and help people. Help yourself. Be kind and remain true to who you are. The right people and right opportunities come along when you stay true to yourself because you're surrounded by people that understand you or are willing to understand or try to understand you instead of giving your energy and time to people who wouldn't like you if you took off the mask. They don't actually care about you. And you need to stop lying to yourself because by lying to yourself and thinking that that's the life that you want to live and those are the people you want to be around, you're not loving yourself. You're sacrificing your life. That's your time and you're wasting it. You will be much happier, although painful at times, being alone and true to yourself than being surrounded by people who are wearing masks just like you. You're not living in the truth. Everybody's on that journey in a way. Some people know that they're not living their truth and continuing to do it for whatever reason. I mean, there could be commitments, there could be a lot of things, but even still, things come and go. And if you want to live your truth and you want to live the best version of yourself, part of that comes from being honest. Be authentic and understand that it will be hard at times. People will judge you, but give them peace and grace. They aren't they aren't there yet. There's a lot of work they need to do internally before they would understand how futile it is to judge other people for how they express themselves in this life. Rooted in a deep insecurity for themselves, possibly, or anger or hatred. But those are reasons that they need to examine or even become aware of. Many people navigate life with biases that they aren't even aware of. How many times have you heard somebody make a joke about something that you found offensive? And what was your reaction? Did you get angry? Did you yell at them? Did you try to change their mind? And how did they react? Did they get upset? Did they tell you you were overreacting? There's a fundamental communication barrier because you're interpreting it from a different lens and they can't see through the same glasses that you're wearing. You have a different prescription. And it doesn't mean you're better, it just means you have different sight, different set of eyes. And what the goal is to give people peace and try to understand their lens. Give them grace. Forgive them for their ignorance. You can try, but it's their journey. If they don't understand why you do the things you do, like why you want to pursue a career as an artist or pursue a career or switch careers or leave like a relationship because you don't truthfully feel like this is the person for you, like, and they're asking like why, like, that's something that you have to go within yourself to kind of uncover and unpack. And it leads to a lot of vulnerability and uncomfortable emotions at first, but then you sort of understand that things like crying and things like punching your pillow in a way are the release of your your soul. That's raw, and it's as important as the feelings that you strive for in happiness, because happiness isn't the goal. Peace and stability, alignment, resonance, authenticity, and truth. Happiness is not one thing. Just like there's so many layers to so many different emotions. An amalgamation and a combination and a psychological symphony of music that you can't even get the rhythm to. Just a chorus of chaos in your brain, swirling emotions and states of being, schemas, biases, all in a tornado. An F5 of fallacies, fickleness, feasibilities, frustrations, a lot of F's, right? Sometimes you want to say the F word too, but it's all fun. Enjoy the process of exploring yourself and understand that the more you're aware of yourself, you start to become more aware of how other people operate and why people do the things they do because you've done them. Or you could start to understand the motivations of why people do the things that they do. And then it allows you to be more at peace because you understand, like, well, this person's doing that possibly because of this. Like, it you can't know everything and you can't judge people, but you can start to see why certain patterns repeat within humanity, right? Like hubris, pride, greed, lust, power, control, aspiration, love, passion, courage, like intense sort of things. And examine how they relate to you. With all that being said, continue to love yourself and remind yourself that you're here for your purpose. And even if you don't know what that purpose is yet, go within and ask the divine for help. Trust in the process and have gratitude. Mm. Okay. Well, I'll talk again soon. Have a good one. Bye.